mice: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. I can tell you for a fact, as a practitioner, I've used all of these in the field in some form. So, I think obviously the judgment of which will work best is greatly determined by one's assessment of the target. And the target can be an organization, an individual, a faction. There's a number of things that go into thinking. But let's just talk about the framing of mice. What do you think? Did you think mice is a good framing for how we examine espionage and spying? Is that a good framework to use as we describe it today?
I think mice, I know it as money, ideology, compromise, and ego. So it's sometimes compromise, sometimes coercion. It's basically the same thing, gaining leverage and forcing someone into it. I think it's an excellent shorthand for getting into the motivations of why people betray from the one hand, or why people are subject to, why, if you're looking to recruit people to be your spy, why they might be vulnerable to that. I think it's based on, a practical, it's coming from the ground up, right? It's people looking at all the cases that have happened and coming up with an acronym that seems to explain most of them. And so as a teaching and as a training device, it is excellent. And as the beginnings of an analysis of espionage or counterintelligence, it's also very, very good. But I would caution people not to see this as the final word, or not to see this as the ultimate authority. It's really a beginning point to start to think about all of this and to put things together and make them make sense with a concept. When we're talking about human motivations, it is very complex. It is more complex than any acronym or any theory can account for. And we will, and when I teach it, I really emphasize that people's motives change over time as they're spying. And sometimes they're a little confusing. And someone's case, and I have a list of a few here, it's not really entirely clear exactly where they would fit into it because there are some peculiarities. And so when we're dealing with the motives of people to act in the broad, scope of humanity, this is an excellent starting point, but there's more to know than what happens here. And if you focus only on mice and think that that's all there is, then you're going to be vulnerable to being hit by the unexpected when it occurs, because there's more out there in explaining.
Yeah, so I agree. I think that obviously the assets I've run, you always start off with money in most operations. Just saying, I think that's a common kind of hook we're taught at the spy school, and I tend to believe it's true, although money doesn't always work. Once you establish that relationship using money as a tool, because most of these guys are not going to get rich off the money you pay them. Just saying, it's not like some people do, but most of the time, no. It's just a control measure that you put in place to keep control. And the other thing to remember, and I think this is important for people to recognize, if you are asking someone to spy, it's a seduction. We talk about in spy school walking the developmental. That's the term for someone you're developing to recruit. You walk them down the primrose path until you pitch them. And that pitch is a lot like a seduction, because you've got to figure out the motivation. You've got to figure out adequate and timely responses to concerns. You've got to have thought through how to go about trying to make sure that person, once they say yes, is protected. And then sometimes there's what we call buyer's remorse. Like the asset will say, I really don't want to be recruited, and they try to get out of it. So these are all the things that go into it. To your point, one size does not fit all.
Thanks for watching that clip. If you like it, there's more. Be sure and go sign up for more for the exclusive content at ColonelTonyShaffer.com and become a member of the Sentinel Circle. You will thank me later for the great things that you will see there. We're going to have great guests. We're going to have friends of the show, friends of the program, friends of me. And it's all going to be fun. So go over, sign up today. You'll be very happy that you did it, and we'll have fun together. Tony Shaffer, ColonelTonyShaffer.com. See you there.